for coming tonight. And Mr. Fitzpatrick, thank you for being our hostess tonight at Wesley Temple. I'm John Valle. I'm Director of Neighborhood Assistance, and I know everybody but this gentleman right here that walked in, but I know I've seen you at meetings before, so why don't we kind of introduce ourselves first? Let's start with you, and I'm going to put you on the hot spot.
Okay, well, I'm Kurt. I live right across the street from Wesley.
Okay.
I'm in violation of just about everything, so I come to meetings to see what's going on.
What do you mean in violation?
I'm always fixing something.
That house across the street, he did all that work himself. Siding, brickwork, stonework, all of that.
So if he's doing work, you're not in violation. You're doing something.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm making it prettier.
But I haven't looked at it yet, so I'm only kidding. Okay.
Mike Gould, Community Police Officer for this area. I know everybody here.
Okay. Start over here.
Howard Carter, student resident, Wellington North College, 5. Grace Park representative.
Ethel Chambers, community activist.
Activist.
I'm Marc, Anthony, the Akronist.
Okay. And
I'm Al Fitzpatrick, the chairman of the trustee board in Wesley Temple, and it was glad to have everybody here this evening.
okay. Well, like I said again, thanks for having us. Howard called me maybe 5-6 weeks ago, and I met with he and Cindy Dunn and Sally Bomley. Am I saying the names right? From C&D Properties. We met on a Friday morning at the real estate office, and probably were in there for about an hour, and when I walked out the door, we had about 3 inches of snow. Remember that morning?
Yes.
It wasn't well attended. There was only, the 3 of us there. And I talked to Howard, and I said, let me see if I could, in our department, if we can look in the Birch directory and try to find people that we can invite by sending a letter from the Department of Neighborhood Assistance inviting them to this block watch. We want to start a new block watch here. And I got to be honest with you, there's not a lot of households. I mean, we had that Birch directory, we went through it inside and out. I mean, our boundaries were Union Street to the east, Summit to the west, East Market Street to the south, and Bluff Street to the north. And I believe we mailed out to 17 people, and 8 or so of them came back. We didn't even get to them because they came back, returned to sender. So I think it's going to be difficult, but I mean, I'm willing to help put in the effort, whatever it's going to take to try to get some neighbors involved and enthused to get started with the block watch here. The reason how we got started talking about it is there's a couple initiatives that the Department of Neighborhood Assistance is working with, and I gave everybody a brochure here. And the 4 departments that are part of the Department of Neighborhood Assistance are 311 Call Center, the Recreation Bureau, Nuisance Compliance, that's high grass and weeds, junk cars, graffiti, things of that nature, right-of-way obstructions, and Housing Code Compliance. Those are the 4 divisions that are part of neighborhood assistance. But one of the biggest things we do is we get out in the community, we work with churches, we work with youth sports groups, we work with block watches, we attend block watches, we're working on trying to start new block watches, we're trying to urge some block watches that might not be very active to get going and get going and start meeting again. We've been real busy. I mean, tonight's obviously our first one here at Grace Park. I got a new one next week in Firestone Park on Brighton Street. We scheduled 9 of them over in the Forest Hill community area over in North Hill, over by the Forest Hill Community Center. And we've scheduled 9 new ones over in the North Hawkins on Drive area. We had 2 of them Tuesday night, and that's where I'm going after this one. So that's 20 block watches that we scheduled the initial meeting. We started last week, we go till the 3rd week in April. We will be completed on round 1 with those 20. Of course, you gotta have follow-up. You know, we gotta have that second meeting, and we gotta encourage everybody to bring somebody to that second meeting, or bring 2 people to that second meeting. And I know I can commit to the first couple, but Mike, how many are there out there? 100?
I don't know, that's a lot.
160, 140?
Yes, a bunch of.
Probably 60 that are active, and I'm trying to meet with as many as I can at least once. And I think we're now on round 2, where I'm meeting with some the second time. And block watches are important. I mean, you're the eyes and ears, and Mike probably can give this talk 100% better than I can, because he's done it so many times. But the thing that we're asking block watchers, we're asking you to be the eyes and ears of your neighborhood, and the eyes and ears to the Akron Police Department and Department of Neighborhood Assistance. We want you to keep track of, you know, your neighbor's house if they're on vacation. You know, park a car in that driveway. Pick up the newspapers. You know, if they got like brochures and flyers and things like that hanging on the door, you know, letting neighbors know that, or people know that they're not here, pick them things up. Right. If the trash containers are still out on the curb the day after trash pickup, be a good neighbor. Take that trash container and put it back into the backyard. You want to make these unoccupied houses, like during vacation season, you want to make them look occupied. I think that's real important. You want to keep an eye out for vehicles that may be abandoned in your neighborhood. You want to keep your eyes and ears out for any unusual or suspicious activity in your neighborhood. You know, as residents, you guys proceed with your daily routines. You gotta observe those familiar neighborhood scenes. Who's in a better person to notice something unusual than you? Because you're there. You're there every day. You know whose cars. You know who's. You know who your neighbors are. Once block watches are established, our department we will send you on a monthly basis the Housing Appeals Board agendas, the Housing Appeals Board minutes from the previous months. We'll send you all the demolition lists that are out there, you know, for houses that are going to be torn down in your particular block watches neighborhood, so you know when these vacant houses are going to be torn down. Here, our boundaries are East Market Street to the north, Bluff to the south. That doesn't make sense. East Market Street to the south, Bluff to the north, Summit Street to the west, and Union Street to the east. Okay. And what we want to talk about in the future at some of the block watch meetings and at the second meeting, I will bring packets for whoever's going to be our block watch captain. And I imagine that's going to be you, Howard. And it's about a 35-page document that the community policing officers put together. It talks about how you go about organizing, how you set up your first meeting, how you select a president or a block watch captain. They got a phone tree in there where you got information on all your neighbors, names, addresses, emails, things like that. And you know, if there's a problem in the neighborhood, you call one person, but that next person's responsible for calling this person, and then this person's responsible to call that next person on that list. And if there's a problem within a couple-minute period of time, hopefully as many people as possible in that block watch area are going to be notified of some suspicious activity or something that shouldn't be going on in there. And in the future, we can talk about personal safety, burglary and crime prevention, local frauds, scams that are out there, drug education, home and fire safety, housing and nuisance issues, recreation opportunities, and any 311 call center, which is one of the departments that are part of the neighborhood assistance, and we encourage you to always call 311 on anything non-emergency. We want you to call 375-2100 on a non-emergency police call. We don't want you to call 911 if you see a suspicious activity. Isn't it better to call 375-2180? So those are some of the things that we'll talk about. And tonight we just want to try to get some interest. The second meeting, I think we'll have an agenda. We'll get in the nuts and bolts. Mike will make a presentation on block watches and how we go about getting them started. We'll have all the documentation. We'll have everything you need. We'll have the, you know, the tree, the block watch, you know, tree where you got all that contact information, personal property checklist, checklist on, you know, keeping lights on, you know, deadbolts on your doors, you know, the proper way of installing your locks and things like that. So there's going to be a whole bunch of information that we'll be able to share with you.
Okay, well, I would like to share with the group that I did talk to Mr. Valle about getting started a community garden on North College Street. It's a lot where the Mosleys used to live at 115. I applied for a $500 grant and received it. I need to go to the Westminster Presbyterian on the 23rd for the workshop. And I guess what I'm saying to everybody here who is interested, anybody in this community that is willing to participate is welcome. We have Keep Akron Beautiful. I got the thing for the plot that Mrs. Chambers in Perkins Street Action Area started at the corner of North College. It is my sworn duty for the rest of my days to keep that up because that was that flower bed right at the corner of North College and Perkins Street is Grace Park, Block Club, Perkins Street Action Area, Echo Chambers, and memorial to her son, my dad. We put a lot of effort in, but I learned working with your hands. Therapy. You do something wrong, therapy. Plus we have the ability to, I don't know if you have the nutrition center anymore, but we can donate those vegetables or sell them. You know, that's what I had targeted Wesley Temple. And that's our big project for this summer.
Who takes care of the flower escape at the park? Okay.
I do. And a lot of people that should be here are haven of rest, transients. And they kind of get a little, to go into the church thing, like we talked on in Family of Faith, you don't dress so well, you don't look so good, you don't smell so nice. And the first thing when you come through the door, you get that look like, what are you doing here? So some of them are a little standoffish, but as the summer goes along, people come and contribute, and I especially like keep the flower bread, you know. Maybe even, they say they might steal your vegetables up. Go ahead, no. There's going to be plenty. Okay, so, but that's what the project is for.
Before I got sick, I had at each entrance someone doing the flower beds. Akron
United Way.
Yeah, United Way.
Haven of Rest.
I can't remember all of them.
University of Akron.
I remember meeting with you on that when I was still in the service director's
And they're still doing it.
There was a group that come out to help.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of who that was.
I can't. Akron U.
Okay, University of Akron. Okay. Okay. Well,
It was I know. It was a fraternity.
Yes.
Yes.
It was a
that's
fraternity.
it. Well, one of the things that I passed out there is this, my neighborhood, our Akron initiative, and that's where we can get you some help over at Grace Park. Basically what we're doing here is we're picking 4 sites in the month of April. We're working with Keep Akron Beautiful. The first Saturday in April, we're doing a cleanup over in Kenmore. The second Saturday, the 13th, we're doing a cleanup over at North Hill with John Hatford from Patterson Park Community Center and Urban Vision. That's a group out there, a faith-based church group that's working with the Asian refugees that are moving into North Hill from the International Institute. The 20th of April, we're doing not so much a cleanup, but a project at Summit Lake. On the 27th, there's a big project that's going to take place, big painting project through Leadership Akron Junior, Leadership Akron, and Torchbearers. This is my neighborhood, our Akron group. We're going to get volunteers at Summit Lake on the 20th. We're going to go in there and we're going to trim, we're going to tape, We're gonna scrape tape off the windows, we're gonna wash walls before we do any of that stuff. So when we got the 150, 180 volunteers on Saturday, April 27th coming into Summit Lake, they can get, you know, they can spread the drop costs and they go to town and start painting. They're gonna paint the all-purpose room, the Candy Cane preschool, the kitchen, and 4 restrooms at Summit Lake. But that, the 27th is not through the city of Akron, that's through Leadership Akron, Junior Leadership Akron, and Torchbearers. And then on Saturday, April 27th, we're gonna do some cleanup projects at, where are we at on the 27th? I gotta think about that over in the Ellen area. Lions Park, Higher Middle School, Davenport Park, which is on Mogador Road. And then once we get through April, if it's my neighborhood or Akron, we're as a group citywide with volunteers, we're gonna do a cleanup the first Saturday of the month. So that would be the first Saturday in April, and I think it might be April 6th. We're gonna be at Joy Park that day over on the east side of town. We're gonna go in there. It's a huge facility and a huge park area. We're gonna go in there and clean up. And then the second week in April, we are going to do a project with the UPA to be announced. I talked to everybody at the Neighborhood Network last Tuesday evening, and I asked for some suggestions on, you know, where would we like to go, and I would think that we would be able to tie some things in on that May 13th at Grace Park, whether it's helping turn the soil and get things ready for planting and things like that, and then of course we go in there and clean the park up. So that's what this project's all about. Trying to get neighbors, trying to get block watches, trying to get faith-based, trying to get youth sports groups, trying to get people to take ownership in their neighborhood. There's going to be a nice story in the Beacon Journal on that here pretty quick. And Howard happens to be on our committee on that too. So that's something that we could do.
My area is good. We don't have to do anything in our area.
Okay.
The people there take care of everything. Arch Street is all older people. They keep their neighborhood great. Adams has some new young people there, but still good. There's a park in the back of Adams called Adams Park. Got a park back there. Has a baseball, what do you call it?
Baseball field, basketball court.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what else did we do? What else did we do? Because I don't do that much now. I don't feel like it.
And this is through the Perkins Street Community Action Watch, or Perkins Street Community Action Group. Okay.
John?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
go on.
Well, I'd like to talk to you about this and get it up on our website and get
Okay.
people to more know about
I'll
it.
give you my card, you got a computer at home, just send me an email, we'll set something up.
Okay.
You can come down to the office or I'll meet you wherever you want.
Okay.
Where's your office?
You know where the water department's at?
Up
The city center building?
Up North Hill?
No,
on Main Street.
Oh.
High Street.
Oh, yeah.
I'm right next to
Yeah.
City Hall. At 146 High Street, I'm in the first floor.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right there where our personnel department's at.
I know. Used to go to pay my water bill there.
Up on
Up on the floor.
second floor.
Second.
Yeah, I'm on the
Okay,
first floor.
now, like I had mentioned, it started to mention to you, we don't have sports over at Grace Park, but what we do have is a variety of groups, faith-based, whatever. They come in and they bring food. And and at will they come, and it doesn't, and I try to explain to them, we only get our trash emptied on Tuesdays. Well, I don't know anything about that. All I know is that I come to serve these people. And then after they leave, those receptacles are full. And then some people just turn them over or just simply throw the stuff on the ground. And you had mentioned about them taking responsibility. And I would like to know if there's some way that we could get people, because I've talked to each one of them. At 7:30 in the morning, sometimes they're there. And some people bring truckloads of things, and they get a little offended when you know, after you leave.
How many truckloads of things?
Oh yeah,
To Grace Park?
to Grace Park, they just show.
They bring food.
They just show up.
Okay, but
Serves
it's a
hot
park.
dogs.
Okay, but like you're
Coffee.
saying, after the event is over, our
Okay.
park is trash.
So we need more trash containers.
Okay. Or they need to take their stuff with them.
Or if you don't have a trash
If they're
container,
overwhelming
Yeah.
trash
It's
containers,
overwhelming.
yeah. Sounds like to me, we need more containers and we need more than our service might not be
Okay,
adequate.
well, I just wanted to put that out there
Okay.
because
Yeah.
we do have groups of people that come out there. Haven Arrest comes out every morning, you know, and then there are other volunteer groups, and then the whatever you call this, and that have to do community service. There are constantly groups cleaning it up, but then there's some days.
Oh, Keep Akron Beautiful shows up. with
They do too.
community
But there are
service.
some days that it looks like somebody just, you know.
Okay, we need to do, when I say we, Parks Maintenance, we probably need to get in there another day out of the week. And now, through my neighborhood, our Akron, we're gonna provide you with trash bags, we're gonna provide you with gloves, things like that, so you'll have all that. And if we do a cleanup that day at Water, or at Grace Park, we got 10 trash bags, and we put them on the curb, we're gonna notify the sanitation department. And they're
Okay.
gonna come, if this is on a Saturday, they're gonna come on that Monday morning, and they're gonna pick them up. Or our community service or customer service, they're gonna come by and pick them up. So we will coordinate all that. We got a young lady in our office, her name is Sally Nyberg.
Yes.
She's been with Recreation for a long, long time. She works with the mature adults, at our community centers, and she's kind of heading up this volunteer effort. We're on United Way's webpage. We're trying to upgrade our webpage where you can volunteer. And I really think once the Beacon does an article on it, I think we'll get a lot of people. I did pass this out there, buddy.
I
It's,
was wondering whether that garden up at High Roller Street in Mueller, is that a part of the neighborhood?
yes, that's part of, it's not under Department of Neighborhood Assistance, because I drive past that every day to and from work. I live over there.
Oh, you live over there?
I live off Cahuga Street.
Oh, you live off Harrisburg?
Yeah.
Well, the reason I was saying that, I've noticed that garden every year, they got a fence
Oh,
around if you want it.
right. Hey,
But that
I
garden
tell
is
you.
very productive.
Oh, yeah, that's through Let's Grow Akron. That's through the same program that Howard's talking about.
Uh-huh.
The community garden. It's grants that we give out through our planning department. I think that's a $50 license fee, but if you're a nonprofit or a block watch, they waive that fee. They provide you with, seeds and things like that. It's through our planning department, and they really do a nice job with that. Yeah. Now, this handout, it's Neighbors Day. This year is going to be our 7th annual Neighbors Day picnic, and it's Saturday, May 25th. It's a Saturday Memorial Day weekend, and we're really pushing it this year. We're going to have 12 big ones at all of our community centers citywide. We're going to have a big one at Mason Park. Melvin Blake's our community center leader over there. The UPA is going to pay for everything. They're going to pay for all the hot dogs, hamburgers, all the food, the ice cream, all that kind of stuff. And we're really going to promote it through the UPA. We want to promote it through Grace Street Block Watch. We want to promote it through your Block Watch because you're part of the UPA. And we're going to really have a real nice event. We're going to have 12 of them, and we're doing this at every one of our community centers. And we're working with trying to get sponsors to help pay for this. Like at the Kenmore Community Center, we have the Kenmore Community Council that is donating $250. So that, $250, you can buy a lot of hot dogs and hamburgers and things like that and feed all the kids and whoever shows up and have some events. Over at Patterson Park at North Hill, the Chapel Hill Towers Tenant Council, those are the two big high rises over there. They are going to sponsor that one. And I still got 9 more I'm trying to find sponsors for, so we got our work ahead of us. So that's May 25th. Hopefully you guys participate at Mason Park through the UPA. And then the last handout I handed out, it's a program called ESOP. It's for individuals that need some certified foreclosure prevention counseling. This is state funding, and they got $500 million that they can't give away. And we are going to provide ESOP with office space in our department of neighborhood assistance. When you come in the first floor of the city center building, you come into our department. We'll have signage here, probably first part of April when they move in there. They'll be off to the left. And once a week, we will have representatives from ESOP that will take appointments, or people can walk in and they'll talk to them about a foreclosure. You need a water or anything? Do you have anything here?
You have some,
We have a fountain back there.
Got a cup? Star.
ESOP program, they're going to be located in our office down the hall, and they're going to be there 1 day a week. But then we're going to have representatives from the WENCO, West Akron Neighborhood Development Corporation. They'll be in there 1 day a week. Mustard Seed Development Corporation will be in there 1 day a week. East Akron Neighborhood Development Corporation will be in there 1 day a week, and they'll have trained people that will be able to meet with residents and give them that information. And then the 5th day, we're still looking for somebody, and very well, maybe ESOP again, a 2nd day during the week. So I think it's good. It adds value to our department. It's a good tie-in, and I'm sure there's lots of people out there that are, having that problem. So those are all the things I have in the Department of Neighborhood Assistance. And Mike, you got anything to add?
Nope.
Any questions?
one thing, we used to have
What?
We used to have ice cream in the summer down where Stalitska's factory is. He's no longer there. At the end of Perkins Street. There's a factory there. We used to have ice cream there.
Okay.
People in the neighborhood would come and get ice cream was donated. I don't know if they donated it, but if we could have something like that for the neighborhood.
Well, maybe we can do something like that for Neighbors Day. At Grace Park, if you want to have something small. You could always do that. Now, you still have your picnic in the summertime? No?
The Parkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yvette.
Okay,
Yeah, they
sure.
have
Okay.
it down now.
Okay. I'm meeting with them on the 30th. They meet on Saturday mornings?
I don't know when they.
Sometimes they meet on Saturdays, yes. Yep.
I'm meeting with them on the 30th.
Mhm.
Yeah, they had the big thing a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Where they had the
Last year.
picnic and food.
Yeah.
They were giving out clothing.
Yep, that was last year.
That was last year.
Was that last year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
honoring
year
dates?
before. It's been 2 years now. that we've done that.
Did we honor you that day too?
Yeah.
Me and
Because I
Mrs. Gates.
represented the mayor, remember? And I gave you your pocket. Okay. That was last year?
No, that was.
That was 2 years ago.
2 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
They had a thing last year
You know,
because
last
I
year.
covered it.
That was last year.
But they might have done it 2 years in a row.
So-
Because I interviewed you and I,
And that's where I met the Parkers at that day.
Okay.
Because they pretty much seemed like they headed the whole thing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But Miss Chambers passed the time because for years she had real nice picnics over there, for the folks,
On a
serving
Sunday,
everybody,
we used to get her
whosoever
picnic
will.
tables and whatever she needed.
Yep.
We used to get tables from Wesley Temple
Yes,
too.
you did.
And-
Yeah, we used to do it over there. Kids used to run over there, small churches out. They're having a picnic over there.
Yeah, good.
Also, with Trinity Lutheran, we used to work with them in the park over there when they had that medical kind of series and checkup and so on, and we used part of the park for that and so on, but, I guess, I don't recall it, they haven't had one probably 3, 4, 5 years because.
Nobody's been working on it. I had the Methodist Church, First Congregational, Trinity Lutheran, Wesley Temple, and Bethany, those churches, and now we've got Family Faith, is that the name of it?
Family, yes.
Okay.
Family
Yeah.
Faith, so we could have 6
Yeah.
churches if we could get someone to work with them.
I just got my bachelor's in business organizational supervision that teaches you how to deliver the services, get the community organizations together. Everybody's got something to do and doing, but we can coordinate that. So that was.
How you get them together is with these.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so, that's pretty much what I'm gonna have to do over there, over on North Union and stuff, because there are people who have good intentions, but they forgot.
I mean, here, you're almost going to have to invite some of the business community possibly, but then again, are they going to be committed, after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock? when
They're
their day's
running out of
over,
here.
And they're driving back to, the suburbs or wherever they live at. I mean, I'm telling you, it's difficult to draw residents, because there's not a lot of residents here.
But
You know,
what I have
University of
found,
Akron, park property, commercial business.
what I have found mostly weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, is Grace Park. You know, like these people were getting it out at 5:20. I mean, you cannot cross the street. But on Saturdays and Sundays, you got people hiking, biking, looking for something to do. And you see this big old park and there's nothing in it, right? And then the thing, you have to be afraid of those. No, you don't have to be afraid of those guys. Those guys are looking for something to do too. So we try like the gardening or something. There's nothing to do, nothing at all. The track is pretty much, we need to fix that, right? It's starting to tear up. There's people who mentioned they want to do horseshoes, to play chess, badminton, something.
I think one of the things with all that drug activity over here and things like that, we own this apartment and the house down next to it, and we work with the police a lot of times because there's so much drug activity going on. And I think that's what driven most of the people away, because of that. And in fact, we just got rid of the last tenant in this apartment that we suspected was very active in drug activity. In fact, we had another tenant who was, I think he's in jail now, but he was opening his back on the side of the house over there, and was giving them service right out the window. So, but I mean, I think that's one of the things that people got very reluctant to go over to the park or any activity.
Let me pass this map around. Center of it's Grace Park. And you look at this map, there's no residents. I mean...
we don't have any people around.
Right, that's what I mean.
But the people that are hanging around in the park, right?
Yes.
Those people from the Haven Arrest
Right.
and other things, these are the people that seem to be a threat to
Right.
the few people that we got left here and whatever else.
Right, absolutely. That's what I've been saying. And there are some landlords that know that, and those places that are active as they're exclusively for that reason. I don't want to really make a big deal of it because that's the only money, that's the only revenue being made. But there's nothing else. There's no merchants. There's the Speedway and the BP. Okay, the paint shop. Well, as far as merchandising, up on the next corner, there's
Market Street.
there's what is it? Pizza Hut. But then again, that's specific. Most of these people, our changes are in the lower bracket, income. I don't have money to go over to the.
Those apartments.
Since this area is in the biomedical
I
corridor,
had been on the police.
from Buff Street over to Market Street, this whole area is the biomedical corridor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of it, right?
And the park is too. And the way things are going now, you just don't know when. But they're going to take all this stuff right in this area here, and they're going to take all this stuff. And
Yeah, but you know what, Grace Park, I mean...
well, I don't know whether they'll get,
Yeah.
but I've understood that Suma's made some inquiries about Grace Park.
But I would think that there's probably some deep restrictions on...
There are deep
Yeah,
restrictions.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
And it's always got to remain a park.
That's right. That's right.
That could well, like our church, this is on the National Register.
Yes.
See, and they just can't come in and take this church. But now they can take, and I wish they would, they can take that apartment building and everything else down this way. But the point of it is,
That could happen.
yeah, what I'm saying is that we've talked with some of the planning people at the city, and they can only give us limited information, about this. But eventually, all this area is going to be taken up because, and as you know, Suma just took on this Catholic health center
Well, they're a partner.
as a partner, minority partner.
Right.
But they're going to build something in here for them. You see what I'm saying? And they're expanding now. They've already almost down to Grace Park with the stuff they're building and putting up and everything. So eventually that's going to happen.
They're out of Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And looking at their bottom line, they're like 3 times bigger.
Yeah, that's right.
Assuming, and I don't know how they call them a minority partnership.
Well, they don't have a piece of the nonprofit.
Okay, all right.
There's 3 parks that they're not supposed to do anything with. That's Grace Park, the park up there by Central Howard, right in
Union
front.
Park.
in front of Central School.
Union Park,
Is that?
Oh, yeah, okay, all right.
And,
Perkins Square Park,
yeah.
Charles. Perkins Square Park.
Perkins Woods, Perkins Woods.
Then that
The zoo?
Waters Park was
Perkins
included in
Woods,
that
the
too.
park.
Perkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, but.
Well, anyway, it's pretty obvious that they, you know, industry's coming in here, this medical industry and so on, but nobody knows when, that's the one thing. Well, as I said, we've talked to a lot of the planning people down just to try to get some kind of, we own about 6 pieces of property right here between, 6 or 7 pieces of property, plus that parking lot across the street, between Martin Luther King here and Bluff. We've got about 6 or 7 pieces of vacant property. Okay.
It looks like it's what, the 3rd Thursday of the month? So the 3rd Thursday in April. Would be April 18th.
Good with me.
April 18th would be the 3rd Thursday. Does that work with everybody, 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock will be fine.
Okay. We'll send letters out again. I got everybody's address from the sign-in sheet, so we'll make sure we notify everybody. And everybody's got to bring somebody.
Okay, so
Oh, I'm sorry. So you saying the 3rd Thursday?
Yeah, today's what, the 15th, right? No, today's the 14th.
Second Sunday.
You're right.
The second, not Sunday.
Yeah. I'm thinking today's 14th. No.
Yeah,
But this is the second. It's the second Thursday.
April?
Yeah.
The date is
The
Thursday,
16th.
that's 11, isn't it?
No, this is March the
Oh, you talking about-
14th,
this is March the 14th.
and this is the second Thursday. So you saying that in April it'll be the 3rd Thursday? Is that?
Well, no, I'm sorry. I was thinking today was the 15th. So
Oh.
today was the 3rd Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So do we want to stay with the 2nd Thursday? Okay.
Yeah, I won't be here, but yeah, that's.
Okay, I got to be at, I got the same thing. It's, over in Galt Drive again that night, but,
Is that the second Thursday? You're talking about the 11th?
yeah,
Yeah.
the 11th, 2nd Thursday, it just says Block Watch Ward 8, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So I'll try to figure that out. Maybe I can get there for the later part of it. So let's see, Grace Park Block Watch.
Everybody, I would like to, my guest, to introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Charles Wilson. I work at the university.
Okay.
And Mr. Carter invited me to come by and get some information on all the good things that's going on in the community. We've been knowing each other for years. I was his academic advisor before he graduated from the university.
He just graduated, he said.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good for you.
Well, we appreciate it. And we just talked about trying to get something organized. Howard Carter is going to be looks like our block watch captain. Obviously, we want to get more people involved, but it's difficult because of the fact that there's not a lot of residential property around here. It's pretty much University of Akron, City of Akron, Grace Park, commercial property, and we're really struggling trying to reach out to people to let them know, that we're trying to organize this neighborhood. So Grace Park's going to be the focal point of this block watch. It's going to be called the Grace Park Block Watch. And all right, we'll see everybody on April 11th.
April 11th, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
April 11th.
Yeah,
6
thank you.
o'clock.
I'm gonna pass. I found it out. I'm gonna take Ms. Chambers home, but thank you.
And you give me a call when you want to get together. Send me an email.
Hello, this is Marc Anthony of the Akronist, and I'm talking to Howard Carter. Howard Carter is the president and chairman of the Howard Carter Foundation, and he's also in charge of the Grace Park here in Akron. How are things at Grace Park? What do you need and what are you doing?
Well, as usual, there's a lot of ambiguity. We're getting started, and today was the first meeting, and it turned out better. It wasn't what I wanted, but it was better than I expected, and I'm hoping to do better. I have received a few little trinkets that I have to work with, and a gift from God, Wesley Temple. As I said, it wasn't what I expected. It's better than I hoped for, And I hope that I can do, just things will go smoothly as they did today. The things that I need are more membership of people who are interested. Not just want to hang out and see what they can get for free. That want to do this because they want to do this.
What can you tell me about Grace Park and where exactly is it here in Akron?
Grace Park is located in the parameters of North Prospect, Perkins, North College, and Park Street, and near up downtown Akron, and a historical Akron across the street from the Wesley Temple, his Methodist Episcopal Zion, the oldest black congregation in the city of Akron. It has been in existence for 156 years, somewhere around there. It brings a lot of value, and this is the thing that I want to bring out too. There are all kinds of other things, and we know it as cognitive dissonance, confusion as to what it is, where it is, why it is. This is one of the major stops on the Underground Railroad. It says so it speaks to where we are standing right now, and so on and so forth. And all I need is for interested parties to participate, to preserve the historical value. Everybody needs to know where they come from so they can know where they're going.
Howard, how would people get in touch with you or anything to be able to do this?
hmc10@zips.uakron.edu.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.